All right, I'm going to tell you how much I made my first month as a 3D print rancher, how I went from starting with one machine to now having 14 machines on the ranch, and how I was able to do this. Honestly, some ways you're not going to be able to do this, but for the most part, I would say 80% of what I've done, anybody can do. So let's jump into it. All right, so when I started, I had one machine. I had an X1C, that's the Bamboo Lab X1 Carbon, with the AMS, just the basic AMS, not the AMS2 or anything like that, just the basic AMS, and I had a dream. I knew I'd spotted an issue in the market that I am really familiar with, which is tools. And I'd seen that there were all these great new sets of sockets coming out with these huge amounts of sockets that come with them. They're called master sets. They have everything you could possibly want as far as a socket. But the trays that get sold that you're supposed to use these sockets with, they were kind of still back in the old, like, oh, people are going to buy just this many sockets. They're not going to get all these extra ones. And they didn't have space for them. And I realized people will want, I want socket or places to put my sockets. I think other people are going to want them. So I developed, and of all things Tinkercad, I developed a set of socket trays that would solve this problem. Anytime you hear somebody say, I hate it when this happens, or I hate doing this, or this thing sucks, you should be hearing cash registers going off, because that's an opportunity for you to find a solution to a market problem and make some money doing it. As we call it, it's a fair trade of services. You solve their problem, they pay you money, everyone walks away happy. That's the best way to do business. And that's what we started out to do. Now, let me show you exactly what happened. We started on October 3rd, I think was our first sale, but we're going to call it October 1st. All right, here's the sales graph from Shopify. Now, I should point out, before we get too deep in this, I am only selling through my website, denoftools.com. You can go there, check it out. This is the main page. It's not a great website. I am not a web developer. I threw this together in an afternoon. And here's what we have. We've got some socket trays. We have a couple pick and hook sets that I did just for fun. I'm like, we'll throw those on there as well. And then we've got this microfiber cleaner that I designed that I was pretty proud of. I'm like, we'll put that on there also, kind of fill things out, make it look like we've got, more than just the socket trays, and which I guess technically we do. But as you can see, we got half inch impact, half inch chrome, quarter inch chrome, 3/8 chrome, 3/8 impact. I need to do some sorting, some organizing, make it a better website, but that's the starting point, okay? That's what we started with. And in that first month, and let me go back to it, in that first month, we did $5,766.33. As you can see, we had no sales day one, no sales day two, and then when we launched, boom, the first day we had sales, more sales. It was going great. We had one day of down with no sales, and then they came back, and things were going fantastic. In fact, they were going to the point where I had to pump the brakes and be like, we need to catch up because we're getting too far behind. I had one printer, it couldn't keep up. So I ordered a P1S, and then I ordered another P1S. Then I ordered a few more. And at this point, we're up to 9 P1S units. Okay, this is the point where it gets weird. We're going to talk about the two factors that made this a little bit different than what most people can do. First of all, I have another YouTube channel. It's called The Den of Tools, like the website. That YouTube channel has got a few subscribers on it, 322,000 to be exact. You're like, well, how does this apply to me? You went and advertised on your own channel and got all these sales, and you didn't have to do anything. You just had free sales. And kind of, sort of, okay? Basically, it's the same as any other kind of advertisement. There's nothing that would stop you from going out and finding another content creator that's in your niche who has a comparable amount of views or subscribers and being like, hey, if I sent you some of these products and I paid you a reasonable amount, how much would you charge to do a video insert? Okay, because that's really all it takes is you just need a 1 to 2 minute video insert, maybe a couple of them. Maybe you do it on TikTok, maybe you do it on Instagram. You got to figure out where your market is. But find a content creator who's working in your niche, and for between $250 and $500, you could get a good solid start and generate probably similar numbers in sales. That's all I really did was I outsourced the advertising to myself. All right. So there's not, if you've got a good product and you're really solving a problem. Now I'm sorry for you folks, and I'm going to show my bias here for you folks making fidget spinners and the flexi dragons and stuff like that. Might be a little bit harder. I mean, you're selling tchotchkes, okay? I'm selling stuff that are practical prints, and I do have a bias towards practical prints. I don't like making a lot of cheesy kind of knockoff, well, some of them are, let's be honest, some of you are doing knockoffs. There's actually a guy who talks about 3D printing on YouTube, and everything he sells is some sort of knockoff. But, I'm not immune to making fun stuff myself, case in point. But the real issue is, you could approach content creators and get them to do the same thing. If you have any questions about how to do it, just put it down below. I'll try to answer it as best I can. But literally, you just email and be like, hey, I've got this product. How much would it cost to advertise it? That's all there is to it, all right? So you can do this part of it. The part you can't do is get companies to send you free 3D printers. All right, so Bamboo Lab did send us two A1s, and we did use them for about a month. I phased them out. I've now since given them to friends and friends' kids because for me, there's an issue. We like the fully enclosed stuff. We work in a colder climate up here at the North Pole. I mean, in Montana, and it's 14 degrees outside right now. When we go in and out through the garage door. When I open that garage door, it chills everything to the bone in here. So I want fully enclosed printers that can mitigate that. All right. And then also we hopefully in the future we want the ability to be doing other kinds of filaments that will require that fully enclosed kind of product. So that's why we went with that. So, but you don't need to get 3D printers shipped to you. All right. I bought 3D printers. I had a 3D printer. We made sales. I took that money, I invested everything back into the business. In fact, I'll even show you how much we've made to date. $9,275 over basically 2 months. Now, as you can see, there's a big dead spot in the middle and a slow ramp back up. That's where we took a break to catch up because we were way behind. And then we didn't push hard with the advertising coming back. And then we started talking about some more. And as you can see, it's picked up some more over the weeks. Now, but in that 2 months, I'll be honest, I have not broken even. I've taken every cent, put it back into the business. I've bought at least $2,000 worth of filament, spent hundreds of dollars on shipping. We had to buy more shelves, other products, a workbench, other things that you need for the environment that you're going to have if you're doing this kind of business. Scale, packaging material, a label printer, all that kind of stuff. It adds up. Seems like you look at it like, $50 packing label printer and, a tape dispenser. It's little stuff, but there's so much of it. It does add up. Currently, we are looking at $6,500 fully invested in the business. Now, typically I say make the business pay for itself, but I did extend my business some credit from my own accounts. It's a business thing. I know it sounds weird. Basically, I took money from a different business, put it in this business to get started, which was about $2,000. We are currently sitting at negative about $2,000. So we still have a bit to go. Now, remember, our profit margin, though, is we're aiming for 40%. We're in the 30 to 35% right now. Mostly that's due to building up systems to be successful, all right? We had issues with prints in the beginning. We had issues with, packaging, trying to find the right packaging and stuff like that. So we were paying more for packaging than we should have. In fact, we're still not at a point where we're really happy with the boxes that we're buying. But we need to figure this out, and we're working on it. The packaging material, we had some damaged prints at the beginning. We've had, a handful of misshipped items where they were either had extra items or not enough items, stuff like that. We've had, as I said, we had a couple damaged items. We had an issue where somehow PLA got mixed in with the PETG, and if those two don't stick together. So when things weren't sticking, it was weird. So we had stuff like that. It's taken our margin down. So we're closer to that, probably 35, maybe just under 35 profit margin kind of thing. But again, we're taking all that money and investing it back in the business so this can be an ongoing concern, something that we can use, with my main channel and then hopefully for some other stuff as well. But the point is, there's nothing here that I've done that I don't feel that you can do. You can start with one printer. You don't have to start on Etsy. You don't have to start on eBay. It doesn't take a lot to set up your own website. And if you can then send traffic to your own website, you're not paying the Etsy tax. You're not paying the eBay tax. You're getting that money directly to you. Will you have to pay a little bit in advertising? Well, yeah. If you sell on Etsy, anybody who's successful on Etsy they'll tell you point blank, they advertise on Etsy. So they're already paying advertising. So work with a content creator, or better yet, start your own social media channel. I'm a big fan of it. I have a third channel called Content Coach. I don't sell courses or anything else like that. I just try to pass along the blessings that we've had to be successful in social media. And we try to help people grow through that way. So if you have any questions, you can post them over there. I try to always answer questions on any of my content and stuff. But here's the deal. Don't make a channel like this. All right. This channel isn't going to sell me any socket trays. All right. The people who are watching this to learn about 3D printers and to learn about the business of 3D printing. They're not here to buy my socket trays. I see a lot of people starting channels to talk about the stuff they're making on the 3D print farm or ranch. And they're like, why am I not selling any products? Because your viewers are not your buyers. All right. If say you want to make desk accessories, you need to make a channel called like Desk Vibes or something like that. Use AI, come up with a cool title and a cool concept, do some market analysis. Maybe it's just Instagram. Maybe it's just TikTok. Maybe you're over on Pinterest doing Pinterest stuff. You got to find the social media content that's right for you. If your target market is like people over 100 years old, you want to be on Facebook, all right? Okay, it's a social media joke. Just roll with it. I'm an old guy. I can say stuff like that. But anyway, the point is, find out where your market is, find out who they are, find out what their pain point is, solve that problem. Stop selling Flexi Dragons. Stop selling stuff that you're buying off other people's, website and stuff. You need to own your own content. You need to own your own products, your own what's called IP, intellectual property. You need to own that, all right? Another way you can make money is and I give away my STLs for free. I post them over on MakerWorld. I've made $120, probably $140 at this point. It's not a ton, but I don't mind doing that because let's be honest, most of the people who I'm showing this to, even though I preach to them constantly, you need to buy a 3D printer, most of them aren't going to do that. They've got other stuff to do. They're not going to spend the time to learn another skill or another hobby. So they're just going to buy my product. But at least I've made the effort to support the community, and luckily MakerWorld is giving me some cash back to do it. That's kind of nice, isn't it? And it's not because I'm a big content creator. MakerWorld doesn't know anything about me. I just set up an account, put stuff over there. I do my videos or my ads on my own channel. I'm like, you can buy it here or you can download it here. People go check it out. In fact, if you look at my conversion rate, it's pretty bad. My conversion rate is terrible compared to most people. We're looking at 0.53%. And the reason for that is a lot of the people coming over are looky-loos from my main channel, just want to see what's going on. They want to check out the website, see what this is, see pictures, see prices, all that kind of stuff. Most people are not going to buy, they're just window shopping, just browsing just to see what I'm doing on my channel. And that's fine. But that doesn't hurt me the same way it's going to hurt you on Etsy. If you're on Etsy and you have a channel talking about stuff and you're talking to people who are not buyers, they're going to go look at your store and they're going to destroy your referral rate or your conversion rate. And Etsy's going to be like, oh, this guy's not very good at converting people. We're not going to promote his store. So don't do that, all right? Anyway, I hope this has spurred you a little bit to start your own side business doing the whole 3D print ranching thing, because I think it's a fantastic business that anyone can do. All right, you do have to be a little bit technical, but it's a skill like anything else you can learn. It's not like changing a transmission. It's really not that hard, honestly. You can learn this skill, you can get into it, and you can start making money today. I did it, and trust me, if you do what I say, you can be doing it too. Do you need to have some money to outlay? Sure, but you could bootstrap this yourself also. You could get yourself an A1 Mini for $200. You could start making prints and selling them at local craft fairs. Sell them to friends, sell them to family. Find out what they need. Make custom stuff through Tinkercad. Teach yourself Fusion 360 and grow over the next year. And then the year after that, and the 2 years after that, who knows? I started on YouTube 10 years ago. I wasn't making any money. A year later, I was making 5-10 cents a day. I now left my job as a C-level executive in Silicon Valley to do YouTube because I invested the time and it paid off. This is another investment. We started now. Granted, I got to start, with hitting the ground running because I understand business. You don't have to be a huge YouTuber to do the same thing. You can hire YouTubers. Again, if you got any questions, put it down below. If you like what we do here, go ahead and chomp the old like button. Smash that subscribe. Ring the bell on the way out. You all take care. God bless. And as always, shine on.